Welcome back to another live trading session, traders. Hope that you are enjoying. And this is a live session from Forex Trading Wizard Academy. Beginning another trading day after this Thursday's initial trading session, looking for the next trading session here. And this is an exclusive live session for trading later today in NY session. And I hope that everyone is ready for a big trading day coming up. There's coming up unemployment claims in later today. In just a matter of an hour, we will be trading here these unemployment claims. And looking at for everyone to show up for this session, we will be looking at trading XAUUSD, USDJPY, DXY, Euro dollar, British pound US dollar, and many of the instruments that currently showing trading opportunity, along with also some movement that you can see on BTC USD. Now, with that current market movement that you can see, gold has shown a significant movement here in that market. So waiting for all the members to be online. Can you write something? Can you write why if you are here? Let's begin today's session here. Thank you very much. Okay, so we can begin. We have seen quite a few members online, so make sure guys also you like this stream, give a thumbs up before we begin. And as usually, we want to stay in the winning streak, though there could be, anything can happen. The market might go up, down, or sideways, or the market even can go opposite direction of our trade, but we have risk management, right? So this is what we will be looking at in this session, and also looking for some entry later today in this market. So before we begin this session here, traders on XAUUSD, that looking for, first of all, to see that how the market is today trading, and we will be trading, we will be analyzing, and then we will be looking for entry. But when we are looking for the analysis, we will be looking at from, thank you very much, from three, let's reduce the volume, right? Not the volume in the market, but in the music. So we'll be looking at three, here we're looking at, okay? So first of all, we'll be doing this is what, the first thing that I discuss when we start the market analysis, is because this is what we need to look at the plan. So we'll be looking at, first of all, here, the analysis, the technical, and then we will be looking at the fundamental. Good day, welcome. And then we will be looking at, so technical, fundamental, and the sentiment. Okay. So I call the TFS, 3 steps analysis, and then we will be using the timing for finding that entry. So looking at, first of all, technical, right? And when we are looking at technical, as you will be trading on the lower time frame, I do look at all time frame, higher time frame, and then lower time frame for an entry. So if you look at the higher time frame, you can see this is the weekly market structure. And in this weekly market structure, there you can see this is the weekly high and then the weekly low. Okay. So in this weekly market structure, where there is weekly doji. Now with this weekly doji, that you can see the market has reached that high, reached that low, and now at this point, if you look at here, with this weekly range, we are on the second half of the week, and in this weekly range, that looking for an entry in that area. So as the market reached this week 5237, right, and also the low 5015, and that's the weekly range, nearly to 2200 pip. The price is just above this weekly open, right? And now, are you going to see a new higher high, or you could see that the market to drop again to the support level? That's a very, very important question, because when you see that kind of price action, once we have the directional bias, we have a very higher possibility to find a trade in the direction, because direction is almost 70% of your trading success. Because once you are correct in your direction, you can move a little bit of stop loss or change a little bit of settings, the risk settings, and then you can, most of the time, can be correct in your entry. So now at this point, guys, I want to pause, because this is where we will be able to see that very clear picture. Today's Thursday, and we'll see that also unemployment claims coming in just a matter of an hour, right? So if you look at that coming, so we will be also, that is falling on the fundamental aspect, but at the moment we are looking at the technical. So therefore in this area here, okay, so this is a very narrow range. Now, do you think the market is going to go back again to the upside, like creating like that bullish candle? Is it likely to technically, I'm not talking about the fundamental or sentiment, that might be different. But the technically, if you look at, there was a previous week, a long week doji with a narrower body. And do you think it's gonna create that bullish engulfer here? Or we could see that breaking below that here. So I would like to see how many members agree with that, and then we'll be looking at the lower time. This is a very crucial point, because if the market is not going to create a candle like that, then it has to create a candle below so far before the weekly close. We are looking towards the weekly close, and I'm posting a poll here. Okay, so what's your bias on what is your bias on XAUUSD weekly, right? Creating so dropping down the support level, right? So if you look at here, guys, I'm posting one. If you look at here, posted one long. Now, so that, if you look at that, I have posted this analysis. Okay, so if you look at here in this zone here, it has created this move, and let's wait to see. One member agreeing that it's gonna go create a long weekly bullish candle in this area. Okay, so I think most of them agreeing from the weekly. Okay, let's look at now the daily. Now, looking at daily market structure here with this long week, pretty long week doji that you can see here in that area with a very smaller body, and that long week doji with a smaller body, the market may, eventually cross this high and creating a new higher high. So that being said, with this long daily price action, we saw that there was back-to-back 2 days the market has significant rejection of that key level. And with this rejection of this key level on the daily, as today's market has shown initial drop down here back below, we could see the market to eventually cross further back below here in that market. And with this, therefore, with that drop down back below here in that market, we are looking at this price action to eventually break the high. All right, so now before it breaks the high, there is a chance that the market to come down here to retest that low, right? So retest that low is where we are looking at the market structures to show up a possible entry. And therefore, you see that after this previous 4-hour candle close, here in this area, the market now slowly building that momentum back below here in that area. And with that being said, here we are looking at this move back below, and there is already a breakout trend line that you can spot here in this market. Okay, so this is the breakup trend line, and after this breakup trend line, we saw a trend continuation here, and especially looking at this 1-hour price action. So if you look at the 1 hour, that has 1-hour bearish candle close with a long wick candlestick pattern with a healthy body here. That's where you are looking at this market to eventually come back below here to fill that zone. The current resistance line is here, and we are looking at this market structure to fill that zone here in that area. So therefore, we are looking at in this market to, and you can see that there is also in this area semicircular structure has been created. Thank you very much. And here is what we are looking at this market to give us that entry opportunity, and what we are looking at here for this after this breakup structure, the market to eventually come down back below. So the analysis here technically that we are looking at this market to show us this downtrending movement in this area. Now this is the technical. Let's look at also the fundamental as well as the sentiment, and we can see some quite a few high impact news. The next 7 days will determine if we face a stagflation or global recession. Yes, parliamentary speakers, any aggression against soil. There's quite a few, like their yellow folder. Okay, so quite a few, like if you look at in that area, we are looking at the unemployment claims along with now we are looking at the sentiment, right? So what is the current sentiment that you can see here in this market? The next 7 days in Iran will determine if we face stagflation or a global recession. That's a good point, right? What do you think? Okay. So there is a possible for recession, right? Or the stagflation or inflation, or nothing. Anything can happen. So nothing to be like, you know, this is a big technique as a trader. So I train the trading psychology guys a lot. Okay. Now you can see the market is coming down here. We will be discussing on that, but we might find a potential entry that I'm looking at here. Okay, so if you want to be a good trader, let me give you an exercise that you need to practice. Absolutely essential. Okay, stay in the not knowing. Can you be on that? It will change the way you look at everything. Okay, and we are very much train our brain to become very, very deterministic and strong at something. That's how the brain is been wired. Okay, let's look at here. Now what can happen here? Stagflation can happen or cannot happen. Recession can happen or cannot happen. Or nothing can happen, or maybe things getting better. Okay, so it's completely upstream, right? What is flowing now, it's opposite direction. So that's where you start to see the picture in a completely objective way. So look at, always pay attention to the present moment, and then see completely from the objective perspective, so that you don't hook on to any specific ideas that going to happen. And then you can decide based on what's in front of you. Every moment is unfolding from nothing, right? That's where everything happens. You don't know what is next 5 minutes. Everything is in your mind that you are projecting, but in fact, you don't know what is in the next 5 minutes. In your experience, will come. Okay. Now, so you leave that on the next 5 minutes. But at the moment, what we can see in the past, we will be determining the future based on that. And that's where they come down to the probability, right? Hope you're having a good day. Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much. I hope that you guys also have a good day. The next thing we will be looking at the probability, right? And that's where everything is. So you can't be very strongly deterministic, but you can be very confident of becoming probabilistic. Okay, so now let's look at how we can trade the probability. Now here the market is having some kind of reaction of this level. Right? It's a break below, and a big red bearish engulfer has formed. You see the market of this level, it's crossing that below here. All right, so here I would like to look for an entry potentially. Back to back two rejection of this level that might bring the market back below. And okay. Thank you very much. What's your view on that here? Do you think it's gonna come down back below to the support? Straight bounce back up. This is interesting, but I think that's gonna potentially creating further possibility for we'll be looking for sell here. All right, so today I'm looking at, depending on, of course, you see this is the 1 hour candlestick pattern closing, and before the candle close it might bounce back again. So in both directional bias is still possible. All right, so we'll not be sticking to one directional bias here, but at the moment in this area with this big red bearish engulf, it created a selling possibility. Now we saw that immediately rejection. So this is what I was telling you guys. You see that every minute there is a new reality, right? So if you look at, this is a green bullish candle and everyone is thinking the market will go up, just to see that the next one straight drop in 1 minute, everything changes, right? And now everyone is thinking the market will go down, just to see the next minute the market has gone up. So every moment there is a probabilistic outcome from the collective action, right? So this candle is not one person's creation. It's the action combined together who are trading in the market. So you contribute to that action as a trader, right? So now what we are looking at is to stay in the higher possibility, stay in the direction of the trend. Okay, the market moves from imbalance to the imbalance. That's the nature of the market. So first of all, look for where the market has created that imbalance and then trade based on that. Okay, so which direction the market has created that imbalance, this way, that way. All right, so and then let the market to be overextended in that direction and then sell or buy for the market to move again in that direction. That's how you can become a successful trader. Now here in this area, this is quite a few stronger consolidation, but this is, though we saw that there was a bullish move here, I think there is still possibility for further drop here, and this is what we are looking at in this market. All right, so let's see that where it is heading, with a big large head and shoulder formation here that you can see. Thank you. Getting off that level. Okay, so with this consolidation, the market, if you look at here, from this lower time frame, trying to bounce off this support level, and with that bounce here that we are looking for this market to go ahead and create a new higher high in that market. This is a resistance line, expecting the market to reject back again of this key level of support. Now we see there is a form of head and shoulder in that area. Now that head and shoulder, if you look at, can play out, right? So if you look at here, that head and shoulder might play out here, and the market may drop down back below here. But we are looking at in this market with a bearish engulfer here in that area, that the price action to sink down back below here in that area. And so the current level of resistance that we're looking at this market to retest and then to return again back below to the support level. Now this is now form a head and shoulder here, guys. This is what I'm looking at. If the market, see that in this zone here, form that head and shoulder, the market may here cross this high and then could turn back below in that area. Ready for an entry, and I'm looking at, so with the current market structure that you can see, and of this level the price slowly building its momentum here to this key level. And if the market is going again back here in that area, this is where we are looking for a potential entry from that level. Welcome traders, welcome back to another live trading session. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed yet, you can do so. Don't miss out to subscribe to the channel, and also press the notification bell so you are not missing any of the content that I am posting every single day. So of this level here, that you can see the market is slowly breaking back up, which is eventually now crossing that zone, and we are progressing towards a candle close on the 15-minute chart and also the 1 hour. The session open coming, right? NY session, I think so, right? Now this is 1 hour. Yes, so there is session open coming and 1 hour has progressed. It's moving here in that direction, and that's what you can see. The market is slowly crossing that resistance line here. Now deleting all those levels to freshly look at how the market is playing out. This is the current intraday resistance line that you can see here in that area. Now, from this support, the market is showing up to be that here series of lower high, and you could see the market to cross this in that zone here. And now we see there is a big long wick candlestick pattern has formed on the 5-minute chart, and that might be, if you look at it, might be showing acting as a liquidity sweep here. We saw there was a rejection of this zone from the 1 hour candle close. Candle close, guys. So you can see the back-to-back 2 drop, and the 4-hour chart. It's still 2 hours remaining for the 4-hour candle. So now for us to sell, I would like to see the market has tested this resistance line, because there was a big move here. We will be looking to sell after the market fill this zone here. See quite a few long week candlestick pattern getting rejection of that level, which is, if you look at here, come on, this is a trend line that you can see, and of this trend line, it's now breaking that low. So we do see that with this long week candlestick pattern, the market structure is showing up to be in that zone bearish. So we are progressing towards the, if you look at the coming up calendar, okay, so unemployment claims. So with these unemployment claims, that the market is going to react, of course, because it's a very high impact news. And you can see after this break of this high, also before the news, the structure created after break of this low is bearish, and probably we'll be able to find an entry shortly for this possible, because there is a long bearish candle formation here. You see the market didn't break that high here, so instead it's coming down, so therefore chances for the weak fill also is higher. The current session's high is here. Now this current session's high, that expecting the market to respect that resistance and then to return back below in that direction here in this market. All right, looking at here, guys, thank you very much. What level you play, you say please, okay, thank you. In which time frame you take confirmation before selling? Okay, a few more questions. Now here is the lower time frame. The market showing here is significantly bearish, that you can see. Okay, big red bearish engulfer, and you're planning for an entry. Now the previous entry also you had the same way. This is what we need to look at when we are opening position, the stronger rejection of the key level. Significant drop. Now I'm also bringing the previous trade that you have opened, guys. This is very also important to look at. We have opened 2 positions today. Now for those who have looked at the premium trade that I have posted in the group, this is our today's first trade during the London session. Also you open WTI. Now this trade also I have shared in the premium group. This is a signal that I have sent out to the premium group, and also you have had during the London session breakout. All right, so if you want to explore more about the premium group, also you can find link below this video. Now here is, we can see that the market, if you look at when we open this position here on XAUUSD, if you look at here, this is where we have had our position on London session breakout, right? Now this is entirely, first of all, we saw the stronger breakout of this level, followed by we saw that pullback below here, and then the market bounced back again to the upside here in that market. So the entry was with a breakout. If you look at that, London session breakout was crucial, right? This is where you can see the market has made its move, followed by this pullback, and then the market made another move back to the upside. And the entry was in the direction of the trend. This is what I always look at, guys. When I'm entering, what did I look at? See the prevailing trend in the market. That's what you are looking at, right? This is a prevailing trend in the market. And during that prevailing trend, here is that we have seen the market is trending, the market is showing up its directional bias, and off that level we have taken the trade in the direction of the trend. So I have used the trend, the price action, and also we use the market structure along with the timing. So it's the London session breakout trade, and this is what I always talk about, that always look for the session breakout, because when the market is breaking out of the session, there is a higher possibility that the market will move in the direction of the trend. Now at the moment we can see this is also session breakout, right? We are just waiting for the news to come up, or before the news. Now the market has with this session has dropped significantly. What do you want to see here now? A deeper pullback here in that market, right? So this is what we are looking at in this market, for a deeper pullback. And upon this deeper pullback, they're looking for this market to eventually cross this low here, eventually to come back down below here in that market. So you might see weak fill or breaking below here. There's a significant drop here in that area. So you see there is a candle close in this lower time frame. We'll be looking at entry after we can see the price action confirmation here in this market. Getting back to the upside, and with this break above, if we look at this lower time frame market structure showing up to be significant in that area. Okay, so 15 minutes candle close coming with a significantly larger bearish candle and scenario doji. So with a large head and shoulder, the market eventually has broken out of the trend line. Now of this trend line here, that we are looking at this market to give us that that entry opportunity here in that market. It's a pretty long rejection here on this lower time frame. From the 4-hour perspective, we can see that after break of this high, the market is eventually breaking that low. So the current level of resistance is here. And I'm ready for any kind of entry coming up later as the news is coming in 15 minutes. We see there is a significant drop. And we will be waiting for any kind of trend breakout here for the next entry potentially coming shortly. Welcome traders, welcome back to another live trading session. Here's the resistance line that you can see. Okay, so with this resistance that I'm expecting the market to go ahead, cross this high and then to return again back below. And here's the you can see the market slowly breaking that. If we see the market successfully break this high here, we'll be looking for sell in that area. How about the WTI? Oil is pushing up here, and we have a trade running in. So for those who are on this trade with me on the oil, can you confirm that you are? So this trade also been shared in the premium, and so along with XAUUSD, we have also shared the trade on oil, and this is the oil trade that was sent out previously of this level that we have seen the market to break to the upside. And what I think that the market may go up to cross again another 50% of this long week in the trade on oil. So if we look at the current geopolitical tension that you can see here, there is some kind of event that eventually now oil might move up depending on how next few days is going, right? So it's important that some of the things that now the flow, if the supply reduce, also oil price going up. If the demand goes high, also goes up, also oil price is going to go up. So at the moment we can see there is a potentially lack of supply, and that has eventually bringing that WTI potentially back to the upside. Now, depending on, as I mentioned later, how it goes. So here we can see that on gold is just going the opposite, and we see that again another break below on this lower time frame. Coming up in news in 10 minutes. Also crucial to look at here with the news how the market is doing. Now I would look to sell off this level if there isn't any news at the moment in this area. It's a bearish market to look at. So looking at the 4-hour, this is the 4-hour candlestick pattern, and it's an entire drop back below. Now the news might bring that market, what I think now, below to this support level, as we are discussing in our previous analysis as well in the same way. It just has tested that fair value gap, right? This is a fair value gap, and off that fair value gap, the market now, we can see that has tested that low and trying to break to the upside again in this market. Along with the current, here you can see the market is showing up to be significant. Okay, so if it isn't new, so you could look for here for potential sell. But you can see it's a news time, so you have to be patient here, guys. It's important that we do that. Okay, here the market slowly breaking back to the upside in that area. Waiting for the news to come up, and then we will be looking at the entry here in that market. Hello trader, welcome back to another live trading session. Thank you very much. What level did you say, please? So here is still not looking at any level. We are looking at a structure to give us an entry, right? In which time frame you take confirmation before selling. Okay, so we are looking at the multiple time frame confirmation for each entry, which is important for us, right? You're looking at the multiple confirmation before we look for any entry. Gold look bearish, and I would say trade after news. Yes, of course after news, and we are not entering any trade at this news time. It's not a good idea to look at. So we are looking at to enter each trade after the news. Okay, so it's essential to see that the market is preparing. Okay, so the market is getting enough confirmation here with the news. Okay, so you are looking at the coming up in just a matter of 2 minutes, a new high impact news, and which is basically looking at the calendar here, right? We are looking at the calendar, unemployment claims in just a 1 minute time, and with these unemployment claims we will be able to see the fundamental aspect. Along with also you can see the quite a few high impact news here along this area. So this is what we are seeing, that currently with the oil price and also the gold price and also most of the instrument. Now oil price is a big deal because that's where the economy mostly depend on. Now we can see that this, what is called the Strait of Hormuz or something like that, that's where things getting really now very different. Now you can see that this is Strait of Hormuz. So if that zone is, you know, the ships are not being able to pass, then oil blocked, and there will be a huge lack of supply, and that might, you know, will bring that market back above here. So if you look at here on WTI, you can see that the market is reflecting that here. We'll see later today what happened next. So if you see that this Strait of Hormuz is not being able to stable, and all the ships not being able to pass through that, then we could see that oil price is going going up, and we can see the market is showing up that. So now with this oil price now going up, is still a lot of airlines not running in schedule, right? When all those airlines will run in schedule, or more airlines will run in schedule, then if the oil is not flowing into that zone, then we don't know where it goes, and it's directly gonna impact the economy, of course. So now that's why I have opened it. If you guys looked at the oil trade, which is a buy, I have also shared the trade in the premium group. This is the trade that I have, WTI. This is swing trade. For those who are premium group, then don't miss out to look at the details of the trade, and also I do share regular update all the trade that I am opening. Now looking at again here on XAUUSD, as the data came out, let's see that what's happened with the unemployment claims, which is 213k, less than the forecast. So how that DXY has reacted to that, we can see that upside on DXY. So with the upside on DXY, if we look at the XAUUSD, we might see that that's a downside potentially on gold for the time being, at least. Let's see that out, because usually gold and DXY move opposite direction, but sometime in a situation where things very, very tense, the DXY and gold might go in the same direction. Guys, this is a rare occurrence, but it happens. If you look at here, DXY now lower time frame going back to the upside. Let's see that how gold is playing out here. But in most of the time, you see the trade against each other, so they go opposite direction of each other. Now looking at here in this area with this inverted head and shoulder, that you can see the market might be now here to push that back above, and this is where we are looking to see how the market structure is going to cross this level in that area. And I hope that you guys enjoying the live session. Make sure you like this stream, waiting for an entry, subscribe to the channel, press the notification bell so that you are not missing any of the content that I am posting every day. Gold looks bearish, I would say trade after news. Thanks for the confirmation. Yes, we are looking at now, we see there is a rejection of this level here, and we can see the market is of this going back to the upside here, and the market is slowly building that momentum, and we could see the price to what I think that here this is a level of resistance. The market dropped to that, we could see going back up and continue to drop again back below here in that area. I'm bullish on gold, hoping we break 5250. Okay, so you're bullish on gold. That can happen if you look at the daily here. Earlier we can see the market from this support created that move back to the upside, and off this level here, if we look at the market might eventually cross this high here. All right, so you could see the market to break above. So here is, if you look at that long week now, so far pre-news gold where we can see that it is bearish. We might see that now gold to eventually reject back again off this level here, and there's a neckline that you can see. Let's see that where it is heading. Come on. We had two trades today. All right. One is running still, WTI. The other one is on gold, that also shared in the premium group, and also I have shared the details, all the breakdown and everything. Also, you can join the Telegram. You can find link below this video, where you can stay connected by joining the Telegram, where you can learn and grow as a trader. So don't miss out to that too. Now, It's breaking back to the upside here. We need some music. I'm still not being able to enter, guys. Patience is key in trading. That's what you need to do, right? Waiting for an entry, and if you look at this 5-minute candle is important. If this one is closing potentially as a narrow doji, you might see the market to drop down back below here in that area. We can see some kind of movement in that area. The market is, if you look at here, it's creating that structure. The market may eventually break that low here, and then you can see now for us to be able to look for an entry, I'm looking at the market confirmation here. 5051 505 5150. Okay, 5150. We first need to see the market. If you look at here, it's now in this area, it's trying to pull back deeply above, and from that zone we could see the market to again reverse back below here in that area. All right, so got it, another bullish candle. So the market now potentially go back to retest this liquidity zone here. Chances for the market to go back to cross this liquidity zone here, and this is what we're looking to see. Here is the support level. The market is approaching that zone here, and we can see the market is approaching that zone, and we could see the price to eventually cross this high and to potentially create a new higher high. We see series of high low, the market may it has now again broken back to the upside here, and I'm still being patient here because you cannot trade against the trend, and also you cannot at the same time enter without proper price action confirmation here in that area. Okay, it finally broken out the trend line. This is what I'm talking about, the market to break out of that trend line. And because the market has broken out of the trend line here, it's a rejection of this level here. Okay, the market is going back to 4-hour level of resistance here now. And if you look at the 1-hour candle close coming, now this is a very, very crucial level. We'll see that either going back to create a new higher high or again coming to test that, because there is an order block here as well in that area. Okay, so you can see this is an order block. Thank you. Okay guys, so I'm really not getting still any entry, but I am really waiting for the best setup, and that's the key, right? And I know that we are waiting for extended time, but the key here is to get the best one, right? That's where less is more in trading. Less is more in trading. So that's the key. Thank you very much. Yes. Close my long. And good idea, because the market is overextended to the upside. The possibility here to, if you look at the 1 hour candle closing, and I don't see very higher possibility that the market to straight going back to the upside, which is possible with the current. If you look at DXY and WTI also showing upside here, with AUSD USDJPY also showing up to be upside here. If you look at the current the event, and with respect to all of this, the news that we have seen in the past, Brent crude oil hit $100. So Brent and WTI, both of them is basically moving in the same direction. There's unemployment, insurance weekly claims. Gold is steady as deep buy, offset from dollar. US inflation was okay. US ASEAN may have blazed around 10 months. Come on, that's basically, it's now pushing that market. And the 4 hour candle close coming also on oil, and here you can see the market has created a reversal pattern here, that you can see the market cross that, and that might bring that market back technically. So basically oil is mostly driven by sentiment and fundamental. So the sentiment here is bullish now on oil, and that's where the market is pushing high. Well, DXO, you can see that upside. And with the 1 hour candle close on gold, also just now the candle close, there might be some deeper move here. If you look at, that's where the 15 minutes candle also. Be back, guys. Just a more moment. Okay, so back on track. All right. Oh my gosh, it's a really interesting day. How the market is scared a double top in the meantime. That's interesting. So there is another candle being closed on the if you look at the 5 minutes, and this is I think this is the 1 hour, and now this is both 2 ways price action. It might be going back up, which is a higher chance also. We might see this market after this test to reverse back again. Are you still bearish? I'm still bearish. I'm still here. Yeah, I'm still bearish, but not entering yet because you want a confirmation. 1 hour candle close as a pin bar. And if you look at the daily, here I'm at the daily, the market is at the daily top, right? So today's high is here. It's not a good idea in this market to buy off this such a high price. Okay, so if you look at, and therefore okay, so this is a key zone here that you can see in that area. And Thank you. And in this area, you can see the market now in a sideway market, consolidating on a, if you look at here, in a circular consolidation, and breaking out of that consolidation here, that could bring that market back below. Now still we saw there was a break here of trend line, and unless we see that this is a complete false breakout, we'll be waiting to see that what's potentially happening here. This is a structure that we can see, and I'm going to see guys here. We may be able to see an entry. So this is a triple top formation here. Now, if the market create a false breakout of this level and the return, here is the key points that we can look for an entry. And also looking at the current calendar, that if you look at here, tomorrow is Friday, right? So we are looking at core PC price index, preliminary GDP, job opening, all these three coming tomorrow, along with care unemployment claims an employment change on CAT. So this is tomorrow's the market that you see, including also you see that tomorrow GDP on GBP, right? Or GBP on GDP anyway. Tomorrow that also coming, and we will be looking at throughout the day for trading this instrument. Now, at this point, traders, what we are looking at here in the market, we saw that break below, and off that break, the market reached that high here. And with this movement, there has been significant move back to the upside. The market in a zone where we are looking at for potential in that area an entry. And there is a, if you look at, this is a circular structure formation here in that area, and that circular structure that you can see which is very big circular pattern, and of that circular pattern, yeah, so you can see it's trying to break above here, and you can see the market to eventually cross back below in that area. Okay, we can see that entire break below. Would you be able to look at NASDAQ? And do you ever trade this? Should I? Yeah, I will be able to look at that. Absolutely. We do look at multiple currency pairs. Here we see that at the moment of this level, you can see the market had a significant rejection of this level, and thank you very much. So every day is different, right? We have seen there is a significant move, and I'm really looking for a best setup. We haven't got that one, but we are looking forward to see finding a best setup. But with the length of this live session is on Thursday, tomorrow also big day coming. Haven't got any entry yet. Earlier we have two entries. One is we looked at the WTI, which is bullish, running in. Gold we have closed in profit. Now this session, in this live, we couldn't look for, but in the premium group, any trade coming also I'm going to share in the group. So that being said, traders, it was an incredible trading session with all of you together, trading in this market. And here we are looking at for potential entry later today. It was a great session with all of you. I would like to see you again in the next session. In the meantime, be patient, be learning, keep focusing on growing the trading psychology. That's the key, guys. So that being said, thanks for joining, and don't miss out tomorrow's session, Friday, big trading session. And thank you for your time, and I will see you again very soon tomorrow, trading live together.